The father of the Georgia school shooter has been arrested on murder charges, and I think this is the correct decision. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Colin Gray, the father of the 14-year-old Georgia school shooter Colt Gray, being arrested and being hit with murder charges. Now, as I said from the very beginning, I think this is the correct decision, especially when you hear all the details. Now, before we go any further into it, let's just show what's happening right here on, what's this, Washington Post. You see the headline: in an historic case, father of 14-year-old school shooting suspect charged with murder. Colin Gray, the father of the suspected Appalachia high school shooter, was charged with involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, and cruelty to children. And of course, that's the father right there with the black and gray stripes on, 54 years old. Okay. And again, his son, 14 years old. Now, let me come back. Let me tell you what happened. Then we're going to get into a video and whatnot. And before I go any further, may all of those who passed away, the 2 students and the 2 teachers, rest in peace, and prayers out to their family. Here's what happened. Back last year, 2023, there was some threats coming from Colt, allegedly, toward a school. I'm not quite sure if it was this school where he did this act, because he was a new kid. He was brand new to that particular district, if I'm not mistaken, or to the school. Anyway, I'm not sure what school he was threatening, but they were able to track some electronic messages back to him. So GBI, that's Georgia's version of the FBI, the state agency, and the federales, the FBI, visited the home. They interviewed the father and the son together, and there was a question. Hey, do you have any guns? Do you have any access to guns? What does the dad say? Yeah, I have hunting weapons, but they're locked up and my boy can't get them. So they're telling them, hey, he might want to shoot up a school. He might want to do something crazy. We need to make sure that everything's okay. They went to his house and told him that in 2023. Now, what does the father, Colin, do for his son, Colt, in December of 23, Christmas time? He gifts him a rifle. Now, this is the rifle that he uses to go to the school and take out 4 people. Now, at a certain point, you got to be responsible for that. You know your son has a risk. You know your son has a problem. He's going to school giving one-word answers. He has all the signs of somebody that might do something like this. And you decide to gift him the weapon for Christmas after the feds and came to your house? Yeah, you pretty much gave him the green light. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and take that and just do what you want. Okay, go full Columbine. That's kind of what he told him, in my humble opinion, even if he didn't say it directly. What kind of message are you sending by giving them a rifle after the feds and came to your house talking about, hey, your son is sending threatening messages? Like, what are we doing? So I think, again, this is the correct decision. But before I go any further into it, let's get into the actual news clip. This is from ABC News, and I will link to everything in the box. And if you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Questions and anger after that deadly school shooting in Georgia, a new image of the 14-year-old suspect. And tonight, the FBI now confirming they were tipped off about him and a possible threat to a school more than a year ago. Tonight, new video of the terror at Appalachia High School, students walking out, holding their hands in the air, and the chilling image of a long gun on the floor in the hallway after the shooting. Tonight here, what we're learning about the 2 students and 2 teachers who were killed, one teacher, a math teacher, and a football coach, confronting the shooter. ABC's Faith Abube in Georgia again tonight.
Tonight, authorities arresting the father of accused school shooter, 14-year-old Colt Gray.
The GBI has arrested Colin Gray. He is charged with the following: 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. Charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.
And tonight, outrage and anger after it was revealed the suspected shooter was investigated a little more than a year ago for an alarming threat he allegedly made, causing law enforcement to question him and his family.
So, let's listen to what's being said. a little more than a year ago. So that means more than 12 months ago, right? And we're in September. So let's say this might have been August of 23 when they came to his house. Let's just say that's when it was. It was before right now in September. The bottom line is it was before December of last year, which is when the father gifted the son a rifle. So if the feds come to your house and then 8 months later you say, hey, here's a gun, go ahead, have at it, you need to get arrested for sure.
Why is it not a crime? It seems the simplest thing we can do is make it a crime to threaten your fellow students.
The FBI confirmed they were tipped off about the Georgia suspect in May of last year. The anonymous tips sparked by a disturbing post on the social media site Discord linked to Gray, the FBI saying he had possibly threatened to shoot up a middle school the next day. At the time, Gray was in a different school in a neighboring county. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office interviewed Gray and his father. According to their records, Gray denied making the post, saying he would never say such a thing, even in a joking manner. Gray's father telling investigators there were guns in the house, but Colt did not have unsupervised access, adding that the teenager was being picked on and ridiculed at school.
I worry about him in school and, what would ever happen.
The sheriff's office urged officials in Jefferson City schools to monitor Gray, but made no arrests, citing a lack of probable cause. Gray later transferring schools. Authorities say he brought an AR-15 style rifle to Appalachia High School Wednesday and opened fire, killing 4 people.
Now, my question again, how do you get a rifle inside of a school? And this school had pretty decent security. They had like apps and they had all kinds of stuff to help the school. They had SROs, the resource officers. They had different things to keep the school secure, but yet this happened. So I want to know, where was the security flaw that made this whole thing transpire? Did somebody open the door for him on the inside? Did he have an accomplice? I'm trying to figure that part out.
Video showing a long gun on the ground in a hallway. Students, some with their hands in the air, led out of the school, describing the horror.
There was a second wave of shots that we heard. They were more rapid. And so that's when we were really like, we know it was serious.
The suspect surrendering to authorities just 7 minutes after the school's newly installed panic alarm system was triggered, notifying students and staff to take cover and alerting authorities. 2 of the victims were students just 14 years old, Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo, seen here in a photo his family posted on a GoFundMe page, and 2 teachers, Christina Arami and Richard Aspinwall, a math teacher and defensive coordinator on the football team, affectionately known as Coach A. Students say the math teacher and coach confronted the shooter. Moments later, 17-year-old Brian Maldonado heard more gunshots and saw his teacher again.
It looked like he was crawling, like he was already laying down by the time he got to our doorway. So it just looked like he was already like crawling on the way back. And once he got midway through the door, that's where he stopped.
And David, some parents tell me they have serious questions about the shooting, but also about how the suspect was on law enforcement radar and still seemingly slipped through the cracks. He has his first court appearance tomorrow.
I mean, I don't think that, because we talk about what the law enforcement should do. We talk about what they could have done. Oh, well, they knew about him. He was on their radar and he's still able. They can only do so much. They can't arrest him before he does anything. All they could do is go investigate and see what's going on. Okay, how is he living? Is it a dangerous environment? Is a father crazy on drugs? Like, what's going on? Do we see drug paraphernalia? Like, what can they really do? At the end of the day, as I close, I think that the father had the responsibility. This is your son. This is a minor. At the time when they came to the house, he's 13 years old. This is not an adult. This is a minor. And you as a father have a responsibility to make sure that he does right. So if the federales hit you up in May, maybe that's when they said they got the tip. So let's just say the feds came to his house in May of 23. And then December 23, you give him a pistol, a long gun, a rifle. After they say, hey, he might be a threat, he's getting bullied in school, giving one-word answers. He has every single sign that he might go do something like this. And you, as a dad, give him a weapon. I mean, yeah, you need to go ahead and get charged because, again, you pretty much gave him the green light. You knew there was a problem and you enabled the problem to happen. But as I close, I want to say this again. May all those who passed away rest in peace, and prayers out to your family. This is a tragedy, and I want things like this to be prevented. Some are going to say, let's just wave a magic wand and all the guns will go away, but that's not reality. That's not reality. We got these illegal aliens coming across the border with no social security number, no nothing, and somehow they got long guns, handguns, RPGs, grenades, whatever you want. They got it some kind of way. How they get that without the ability to pass a background check or anything of that nature? When I go to Bob's gun store, I got to show my ID. I got to fill paperwork. I got to go in a little machine they got and do a background check right away, instantly. That's what I got to do. But that's not the reality for these criminals who go out here and want to harm people. So as long as the criminals are out there doing what they want to do, harming people, I'm going to have my gun to protect myself, friends, family, loved ones, everybody. I'm going to do that rather than just saying, hey, take my gun and I'm going to trust you to keep me safe. I don't think that's how that works at all. Not in the USA where we get a Second Amendment right. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this whole situation? Do you think the father should have been arrested and charged with all of what he was charged with, or is it not his fault? Yeah, the feds came to my house. GBI came to my house in May of 23 and said, your son could be a school shooter. And we had messages from him and he's getting bullied, giving more and more answers, looking like he's about to just completely crash out. But you give him a gun in December as a gift. No problem. It's all good. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And then uses that same gun you gave him to go out and take 4 people. I mean, come on. You can't be that dense. Even if, I'm going to just add this, then wrap it on up and put the bow on top. Even if you just suspect your son might be a little troubled or something like this, I might be able to understand if you just had a hunch. You could be a little bit troubled. Maybe you might, I don't know. But it's not just that. You knew he was getting bullied. You knew he had problems. And then the feds come to your house and talk to you and show concern. That right there, to me, in my mind, maybe it's just common sense. And at this particular point in time, common sense ain't common no more. But if it's me, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to give my boy a gun. I'm not going to do that. I mean, that's just completely against any kind of logic or reason you could use in that situation. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.